Hey, dude, just go start whatever you want to do. What would you do?
14 seat counter. Do it in a U. Have a kitchen that's like a traditional French cooking suite. 3-4 guys you really trust. Super similar to the food that we do at Barley Swine right now. We're seasonal, Texas farm to table, or wherever I'm at the time. Mm-hmm. Local food that's innovative but not weird.
Do you think it would be better if we went away with tipping and built everything in and have that be like a social norm versus
100%.
tip culture?
Barley Swine, Odd Duck, and Sour Duck are the three in our family. So they all get supplied from Riverfield Farms.
Duck, pig.
It's intense back there, and it's super dangerous. I've watched a lot of people I'm sure you've seen a lot of injuries.
I've had a couple myself.
Talk to me.
What's the worst one to date?
I caught my fingers in it.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Game Plan the Podcast. I am your host, Davis Cole, and joined as always by our producer, Juice.
Howdy.
Today's guest is a chef and a Jiu Jitsu athlete with me and Juice at Fight Factory. Please welcome to the show, Hunter Reehoorn.
Do you pronounce your name right?
You said Reehoorn?
I tried to mumble it so if there was confusion, it wouldn't.
Okay. I thought I heard like Reen.
Yeah, that's definitely what I said, but I wasn't sure if there was two ends or not.
Come be the man I need.
Good on this, and then we'll restart.
I know there's knee braces that have like a cyst on them for people who are like jacked.
Oh, dude, they have like I don't even know what they fucking call it, exosuits.
Yeah.
I've seen like
right?
walk assist.
Dudes are doing those.
But you're
things
saying
on,
this is like a
chairs.
temporary thing.
Yeah, I'm
for
making like a
week.
fantasy example of what it will be like in the future.
Like Wico rips a heel hook on you, and then you're like, oh, I just gotta put my knee brace on.
Yeah, I'll just go get a new.
Just go get in a whole.
Maybe I'm thinking about Fallout. Maybe Fallout had
I think
this.
it's fault.
Like the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like you could like just slap the little thing on you, and then all of a sudden you're healed.
Yeah, it's like fucking all video games. Little
Pretty
stim
much,
pack
right?
action.
Oh, dude, and then the next step after that is just like turning Master Chief into real life.
Have y'all seen the Halo remake on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix or something.
Yeah, they just put it on Netflix, right? So I was watching a few episodes,
It's
and
pretty
then
sick.
I have like 3 Netflix accounts. I have like me and Tyler have one, and my dad has one, and then I think Julia might have one too. So we like logged back out, and I stopped watching it.
Y'all are
personally.
actually a family. Like, why don't you take advantage of that shit? Instead of me,
It's cheaper to actually have the family plan.
Yeah, but
instead of
even
me
with,
using like Mikael's.
even with having like where the family plan can allow like multiple devices, like we can still exceed that. You know what I mean? Because we have 5 households.
God damn.
You know, and then plus kids and iPads and shit and multiple TVs.
Y'all be consuming that media.
Just a fucking big ass.
I went through and purged our Netflix.
You did?
Yeah, because so Amanda, my wife, and I, we have like Netflix that I pay for, and then she gave it to like her sister, her brother, my sister.
Hit him with a password change.
Yeah. Well, I went through and I deleted all the devices that weren't ours. I was like, because I kept trying to get on, and it was like it's active, and I was like, nah, get out of here. Fuck off.
We gotta turn off this shit.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Changes everything. Our checklist is still not tangible, but
Sure not. But I mean,
our mental checklist is getting better. I was like, hey, let me charge the fucking batteries for once.
Yeah, that was a good look. Because
Alright,
I thought about it last night, and
How am I sounding, by the way? Are we good? Do you want me to be like?
yeah, I want you to.
Whoa!
I want you to eat it.
Am I making love to this enough or closer?
It could be closer.
Oh,
Do
I need
tug
to-
of war?
tug of war. I can screw.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to screw that up.
No, that's okay.
We
That's
good?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Clap.
Yes, please.
Hold on, I'm like falling down here. Weak ass clap.
I'm like, let me get into
Yeah.
it.
Dope. I apologize in advance. I'm less prepared than I normally would.
Come be the man I need.
Because I don't even know the name of the restaurant. Is it Barley Swine?
Barley Swine.
Barley
No,
and Swine.
no and.
Okay.
How do you like the name of it? Would you change the name? Because he didn't know it. So if you were to like just make one up, or do you have like a preferred name?
For the restaurant.
For the restaurant that exists?
It's not my business.
If you were to have your own restaurant, what do you think you'd name it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Nice. Very good.
You don't even have like a fantasy of like your own spot one day?
Not really.
No? Not even like a cuisine. Like if you were like, all right, fuck it. If I just gave you, some money and was like, hey, dude, just go start whatever you want to do, what would you do?
Like a 14-person counter and just cook whatever I want.
You'd still be cooking, you think?
Well, if the money is to open a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to open up a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what I'd call it. Like I've thought about what I'd want to do, but like I have never thought of a name for it.
Okay, walk us through your 14 seat counter.
14 seat counter. So like do it in a U, have a kitchen that's like a traditional French cooking suite. Mm-hmm. Have like 3-4 guys you really, really trust. And then do it super similar to the food that we do at Barley Swine right now, where it's like super seasonal, Texas farm to table, or wherever I'm at the time. Mm-hmm. Local. Food that's innovative but not weird, and not like having to over explain to people what they're eating.
Yeah,
like
I was about to say,
fun.
What is the line between like innovative and weird?
It's a fine line. Sometimes they don't hit.
Yeah,
because we do that right now, and like some people, they're like they don't get it, and we don't get it. We think we get it, and then like people are like really off put by it.
Like what?
We have systems in place to like record, and it's just communication between front of house and back of house, where like we'll put a new dish on, and a lot of people are like, yeah, this doesn't work. And like we put a lot of forethought into when we change a dish and where it goes, and we're like, hey, maybe this isn't the time for this, and kind of like shelf it. And really think about it. But sometimes like we've definitely had stuff where it's like, yeah, people don't like that. And it's not necessarily from a span from where like everything tastes good. It's not like one person's like, this is amazing. Everyone's like, no, it's bad. It's like the chef team's all like, this is good. But for some reason, guests don't like it. Can't define it.
What are some of the biggest like misses that y'all have had recently? I've only been once.
You only once.
So.
I don't know about recently. Like I can't think of any
Okay.
recently, but I know one. So, and this was years ago. This was when I was still a line cook at Barley Swine. So, it was I don't remember all of it, but it was a duck dish with a hoe cake.
Hoe cake.
Like little mini cornbread basically, right? And nobody liked it.
Dang.
And it was just like a lot of weird comments. People were like, yeah, they didn't like the hoe cake, or like a lot of stuff was coming back unfinished. Cause you've been one time, how long ago did you go?
Probably it's since we moved back. So, I mean, it could have been like fucking 2 years ago.
Okay. So it was after 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because we're tasting menu only, so there's a menu, but it's not like you could order whatever. So it's 12 courses.
There's a menu, but you have no options.
There's a menu, there's no options. So where we do have options is if you have like dietary restrictions, which I think we kind of pride ourselves on, is we're super, super adamant about accommodating as many dietary restrictions as we can. With giving you something that's like a fair substitution for that, as opposed to some places you go, they're like, oh, we'll just don't have that, or we'll just take something off. We actually try to give you your value for what you're paying for back. If you're like, and same with vegetarians and nut allergies and all. There is kind of a case by case basis where we draw the line of what's okay, but we accommodate that. So that all being said, it's like 12 courses. You get a menu presented in front of you so you can kind of keep track of where you're at, and put that out. And that's like, we've had stuff subbed in there that just didn't hit. And so we get feedback from people and they're just like, yeah, it doesn't hit. It's a big miss.
Dang.
But
Do y'all are y'all able to accommodate like vegan? No. The answer
I'm going to say
no.
It's hard.
The answer is no.
Yeah, it's hard.
And is it just straight like dietary restrictions or preferences too? Because I just talked to a homie of mine. They go every year, and they said something about like I know it's a super seasonal tasting menu, but I think every time they go, there's always like a duck, like a Musco something duck, and they just there's no issue with it. They just don't like it or don't prefer it.
Yeah.
So they ask to not.
Kind of same thing on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
We'll accommodate that. If
Yeah.
you're very much like, I really don't like, I just don't like red meat, not a vegetarian. Like I'm fine with fish, whatever. Same with duck. Like, yeah, we will accommodate that to a point. If you have some people who are just like, I don't want any onions in anything. We're like, all right, chill out. No, I can't do that. But you're like, I don't want raw onion. It's like, okay, you don't want to like have chives on top of stuff. Like that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I worked in a restaurant, and the most frustrating guests would be like trying to recreate an entire menu item with substitutions. And then sometimes it would be so convoluted that it's like, dude, you just made a different menu item. Everything you just asked for is right here. I'm not talking about like a normal menu, right?
Yeah.
But people that like, they don't have faith in the system or the chef or like the way it's made from the kitchen. And they're like, no, I can make it better. And I just feel like that's almost never true.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand like to a point where someone like, if you have more of an a la carte style menu where they're like, I want potatoes instead of rice. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no, simple substitutions is fine. I'm saying like resubstituting like everything throughout the whole dish, and then it's like you just made something different. You don't want that dish.
So where I kind of cut my teeth cooking, it's a place called the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs.
You said Colorado Springs?
In Colorado Springs. And like when I was like, fresh out of culinary school, so like 19, 20, worked there until 23 and moved down here. Huge property. Like 700 room resort hotel nestled in the foothills of Colorado Springs. Super historic old property, but there's like 7 restaurants on property. And so you had a lot of people who'd come in there, and one of the first places I worked on that property was called The Tavern, and it was like an old school style chop house. And every night you had like dozens of people who were like subbing, well, I want the potatoes off of that on this and this and that. And you're like on a station just absolutely buried, and you're like, you have a chef like yelling at you who's like calling tickets and you're trying to remember all of it. You're like, I'm gonna die. Doing that. And then in the middle of that, like the people you're talking about, like creating a whole new menu item, my mom used to be the worst about that. Like I would go out with her and she'd be like, so I don't want the sauce from that, I want the sauce from that, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this. And then like one time we were out, like probably about the same time, I was like 20, I was like, Mom, stop doing that. And she was like, what? But that's what I want. And I go, yeah. And someone put a lot of thought into making that thing. So eat that thing. And like, it's like you, like, I don't know, like there's no way you're going to hate everything on that. Like just, you know, give it a shot. And
yeah, I get really bad secondhand embarrassment if I'm ever at like a group dinner somewhere and there's like I'll call it a Karen at the table.
Yeah.
And
I'll call it a Karen.
Dude, just being mean to the staff and asking for everything and like asking for stuff to be warmed up and it's not warmed up enough, or even just people that are bad at ordering, just like being at a table with bad diners. I just like put my head down. I'm like, oh,
it's so bad. It's so bad.
I feel like that's such a, like a, you talk about culinary school and back of house. Did you ever work front of house?
Kind of. Okay. When I was 16, I bussed tables at a Mexican restaurant. They got closed for tax evasion like a year ago. It's a really funny story.
And you've
Did it
worked
taste good?
enough.
It was actually pretty good. That place was fire.
Yeah. You've worked enough in restaurants to understand like what people go through. But I feel like there's a difference, for me at least, of like being at a table with people of previous restaurant workers or not. Like that's like the 2 categories of people.
Yeah.
Have you worked in a restaurant before or not? Because the people that have worked in restaurants before seemingly know how to order, are generally nicer to wait staff, and are just more pleasant to dine with. And then sometimes people that never worked in a restaurant, to me, it's just super apparent. And I can pick up on it pretty quickly because they just don't understand. Like, say a group setting and like you ask the waiter for something and they circle the table taking drink orders, and then they ask them if they have that thing yet. And it's like, dude, they haven't left the table.
Yeah.
They're still here. Pay attention to what's going on around you, you know?
Like even, I think like even being a host at a restaurant for 2 years while you're in college, like changes your whole perspective on how you treat service industry people, not just like people in the grocery store and like everywhere. Cause it's, and I see that too. Like it's very apparent when people are like, this guy's just trying to pay their bills, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, you know, like and it's like, yeah. And I'm with you. I feel that though, where you're 100%.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant? Okay. So you can have that relation. And like, I feel like it especially hits hard if you've been a server, because like we have the culture of tipping.
Yeah.
I understand that that's annoying. I find it annoying as well, but it's there. And so like I tip, and I tip more than I should or can afford. But if I'm going to go out, I'm going to make sure that they feel taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks, but that's how restaurants in America are.
And that's regardless of how taken care of you feel or felt.
Yeah, I'll give you more if you do better, but I generally don't I don't go below like a minimum percentage unless if something like crazy happened. And even then I'm still pretty forgiving.
Shout out Twin Peaks.
Well, that's the culture in the US, like it is changing though.
Really?
Yeah. So at Barley Swine, I mean to like keep plugging where I work, but because we're not the only ones, but like we're an example. So we have it is and it isn't. So we have a service fee that's like, but then we don't, and I don't see checks all the time. So I remember, I think we don't even have a line for tipping after that, but we might, but it's still like, there's a service fee. And that's kind of like where like a lot of the more elevated dining in the US is starting to like bridge the gap is they're adding service fees. And it's like, well, if you're going to add a service fee, just charge more on the menu. But then if you do that, and not just like tasting menu places, like some a la carte places are doing it. Also, but it's like, yeah, but if you price something that was priced at $25 or $22 and then you jack it up to 30, people are, I'm not going to buy, like, I'm not going to eat there. It's expensive. And it's like, yeah, but what you pay after some tax is what you pay. You're not like going in. It's a weird, I think it's trying to get bridged somewhat because, and I think it's healthy and I wish people would value that in dining more. Like people need to eat and they're like, oh, it's on the business to pay more. It's like most of these restaurant owners aren't living in mansions and driving brand new cars. Like they're just getting by too. And there's plenty of restaurant owners who are paying themselves less than most of their staff is making.
Yeah. No, the restaurant I worked in was like a constant battle to just like make enough money in the restaurant to pay the managers' salaries.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have anything for the owners.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously we're trying to cut them a piece off the top, but like our minimum was we got to pay for everything plus our own salaries. And just getting to that point wasn't always easy.
Yeah. And it's even harder in the last like 3 years. Food has gotten so expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Or even like liquor costs too, probably.
Yeah. Liquor cost has gone up. Alcohol cost has gone up. But like food is getting like all produce, meat is just getting so expensive. And it's hard because you can only raise menu prices so much to where people are like, well, I'm not going to eat there. And then you're like this battle of like balancing like, okay, losing money, but having enough people to continue actually serving people.
Do you think it would be better if we went away with tipping and built everything in and had that be like a social norm versus
100%.
tip culture, right? Oh, I wish that so much.
Like in June, it was in London, Paris, and Berlin, and like you don't tip anywhere there, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And like the service was impeccable everywhere, and like we ate in a couple pretty nice places, and also just like some more casual spots, and it was like the service was the same across the board, and things were priced higher. Like you know you do conversion in your head, and you're like it's more, but it's not. Like it's more, but food over there is more affordable too. Mm-hmm. And like that's a whole other bag of worms to unpack. That like the food system in this country is so broken.
Yeah.
And that's why it's getting more expensive. Like that's starting to fall apart, I think.
Going back in time, you said you went to culinary school?
Yeah.
What led you to make that choice?
I wasn't doing a whole lot with my life, honestly. I was kind of lost. Like, I think there are people that I work with now who, like, that's what they want to do their whole life. And, like, I grew up cooking. Both of my parents are phenomenal home cooks. Pretty, like, adventurous. And so I grew up around stuff like that, and I always enjoyed it. And I was cooking for some friends, like, shortly after I graduated from high school. Small house I was renting with a buddy, and, like, we had people over, like, 3-4 nights a week, and I was just always cooking stuff. And then one of them mentioned one time, like, dude, you should go to culinary school. And kind of just, like, stuck with me for a little bit, and I kept thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, what are you doing with your life? I was working some who cares job, whatever. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Kind of went down the path of, like, I want to do this thing, and then just kind of, like, faded out. So, yeah, found a culinary school. Truthfully, like, did not do a whole lot of research. Was just like, I have to do something to, like, get out of where I was at in life.
Where were you at this point?
What do you mean where was I at?
You weren't in Colorado Springs.
No, I was in Colorado Springs. So that's what's weird. It's like I lived in Colorado Springs,
Yeah,
and then I
okay.
moved. So I went to culinary school in Boulder, and then I was like, I'm never going back to Colorado Springs. Like, I love that place, but I grew up there, and like I kind of really early on like realized like, okay, at least I have to get out of here, right? Like I have to do something to like move on with my life. And I was like, all right, well, there's a school in Boulder, like I can get there. Like I didn't have a car at the time. Like I had a car, and then it just like died on me. And so I actually had a buddy like drive me with everything I owned, which was like a tote full of stuff and like some bags. Like it was 19, I had like nothing, right?
Yeah, it's a good friend, bro.
Yeah, drove me up there. I had rented a house like 2 weekends prior. I actually borrowed his car and drove to Boulder to like see this house, a townhouse that was like pretty ran down. Like borrowed money from my dad for the deposit, and then like found a roommate who was starting the same time as me. Went up there, but yeah, just kind of cobbled everything together. And then I was like, I'm never going to Colorado Springs. And then I got a job offer at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, which is like super exciting. I was like, I'm never going back there. And then it's even weirder too, because like my senior prom was at that place, like super. And I was like, it was kind of a little like too comfortable, but I was like, this will be like great. Like I can learn a lot there. You know, there's people who go to culinary school like all over the country, and they will move to go work there for 2-3 years because it can put you like, you learn how to work there, and it's hard. Like it's really demanding. And then move back. And I worked for a guy named Zach Ladwig there. And like really kind of, I think kind of refine my skills where they're at. At least get me a good base to where they're at to be able to grow.
What was the hardest part during culinary school?
Dude, I don't know. Like culinary school wasn't hard for me.
Yeah.
But I also didn't go, I'm going to say that, like, I don't want to bash anything, so like, we're going to talk about where I went. Like, I didn't go to the Culinary Institute of America like a lot of people did, which is like a phenomenal school. But it was kind of just like, if you show up, like, you're going to do it. But I don't think the hardest part was afterwards. Like, you get out of there and you're like, I know everything. And then you get in like your first actual cooking job.
I know nothing.
And you're like, I'm the bottom. Like I'm down here, and like I don't actually know anything. And like that was the hardest part, was like, because you do know some stuff, but you don't get to use it, right? Like you think you know some stuff, and then they're just like, yeah, you're just gonna like cut stuff all day, and you don't get anything. And like,
Yo, why can't folks sit down? Like, I love food. I love
Yeah.
food
Oh, we're
so
talking
much.
about like in a kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
bro, sit down. You're sitting there fucking cutting onions, cutting carrots and celery and shit all damn day, bro. Sit down. But that's like unheard of. Ain't nobody sitting down. Everybody's on their feet.
go buy 5 onions from the grocery store, like right now, sit on a stool in your kitchen and cut those 5 onions. Your shoulders will kill you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. And it's like, you're always moving too, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's a time like you lock in on one area and you're like, I'm going to get this done. But then you've got like 10 other things going. Like you're back and forth and stuff. Like, I see your point. And like,
Bro, I love a sit down.
dude, me too.
I love a good
Me too.
sit, bro. That's why I hate lines.
Yeah.
Chairs have wheels on them.
Bro.
I think that's the other side, is like the safety concerns.
Yeah.
With everybody else running around.
Yeah.
I think sitting down would be, I mean, dude, I didn't truly work in the back of house. Like I ran quite a few expo shifts.
Yeah.
And then I helped with prep at different times, but it's intense back there and it's super dangerous. I've watched a lot of people I'm sure you've seen a lot of injuries
Yeah.
happen.
I've had a couple myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the worst one to date?
I caught my fingers in a deli slicer. Shouldn't have said that while you were drinking coffee.
That was so perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. I almost
Yeah.
lost it.
Which?
These two. They actually stayed intact, but it's these two, like the
Yeah.
pads. So yeah, it was entirely like I was being
And
stupid.
it was clean, huh?
Yeah. I didn't like glide it across it like that.
Okay. You
I
just like a nick.
yeah. was slicing something on a deli slicer that was like questionable if we should have been doing that to begin with, but like fine
What was
dining,
it?
whatever. It was a duck breast.
Yeah.
So we used to have this dish that was it was kind of like a duck taitaki. So it's like still raw on the inside, but like you marinate it really heavy, and then you just like kiss the outside on the grill, and then we would like partially freeze them so they're hard enough to slice, and you slice them like super thin, so you get this like marinated, little charred, but like still kind of like rawish duck, which like I don't recommend doing with like regular duck, but we're getting our ducks from, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the town, but they're from Bellevue Farms. If you want to look them up, they're like the best ducks in Texas. Those are Muscovy ducks you were talking about.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, so like one of them fell over, and I just like reached in to readjust it with my left hand, which is like big no-no, right? Like keep your hand up high with the right, above the guard. And I did that, didn't have the slicer off, and I just like tapped it, but it's spinning, so like grab my hand.
Oh.
Yeah. You know?
What did it look like after?
There were like two flaps, like these two pads on my hand. Like, I know you probably can't see it from there, but like they were like hanging off, and I was like holding in a towel. There were a lot of 4-letter words, a lot. And like, yeah. And then, tried to go to urgent care, and like went in there, and like the PA or whatever in there looked at it, was like, yeah, we can't stitch that here, dude. Like you need to go to the ER.
Yeah. So they stitched it back?
Yeah, they stitched it back.
Okay.
It didn't feel good, but and then it's surprising that like he stitched it, and he was like, yeah, this is probably gonna be like a flat spot. Like it's probably not gonna take. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, oh, like the pad's stuck.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, I've seen some pretty bad ones though. Like spill fryer oil on their leg. Fuck. And then I've also seen a girl. I don't know. I'm laughing. It was really sad. She actually cut, I don't remember which finger, but I think it was her pinky, like at the digit on a deli slicer. Oh. And it was off.
Oh.
The deli slicer
And it was clean.
off.
Was it squirting? Like fucking...
No, like the deli slicer was turned off. She was cleaning it.
Oh shit!
And just spink.
Yeah, she was like pulling a towel through it and like pulled it, and it like went across the blade and just went like it was. Yeah.
Does that turn into a nub after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reattaching now. Oh man.
Yeah.
So, you said you cut your teeth as a cook in Colorado Springs?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that, and then like what brought you down here to Austin?
Yeah, so got that job offer at the Broadmoor, and like really went back to Colorado Springs and was like, I'll do it, like it'll be good. Worked at a couple of restaurants on that property, but really where I wanted to get was there was one there called the Penrose Room, and that was like their fine dining. It's on the 9th floor of one of the buildings there, like super pretty view from the dining room. And it wasn't necessarily the view that I wanted, because you don't get that in the kitchen, but I was like, I wanted to go into fine dining. And that was the thing when I first started cooking and I was like in culinary school. I saw Elaine Ducas's food on Instagram, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do fine dining stuff. And so worked really hard, had to almost beg to get moved up there. And then it finally happened, and went again from like, I was working in, a couple of restaurants on that property, and like thought I was like getting better, and I was, but like thought I knew stuff, and then went up there and it was like back on the bottom. And that's where I met Zach, and he was really hard to work for, like really demanding, yelled at you a lot, but like cared. He wasn't just like yelling at you how like Gordon Ramsay style that you see. But he would yell at you, and then he'd teach you just super in-depth stuff. And like he'd worked in multiple 2 and 3 Michelin star restaurants. And then some changes kind of happened there. And at that point I had hit like, all right, like I've been back in Colorado Springs for 3 years now. I think I was like 22 or 23. And I was like, I gotta get out of here now. Like I've been here too long. I didn't like knowing every single road, right? Like I grew up 10 minutes from this place. And randomly got a job offer at a place in College Station. Knew nothing about Texas. Like I'd heard, like, other than like the stereotypes and like oh, there's good barbecue in Austin. That's like all I knew. But was like, whatever, packed everything I owned in the back of a Subaru Outback and drove down here.
I'll let you use your friend's car again.
No, I owned my car this time. That car I had. That was my car. Yeah. It's some point in between there. I had bought another car. I think I'd probably also like, I think I'd like broken 2 shit boxes at that point too. So now we're in a car that was like, all right, we're good. Until I blew that one up too. But, and then, worked there, it was like right at a year, and it was a newly opened property. What ownership wanted and what like myself and a couple of other people were hired to do just wasn't meshing. My now wife, who in the middle of that, the Broadmoor, we met there. So like went long distance relationship. It was kind of cute, dumb love story thing. But
so she was still there?
No, so she had moved. She was always going to come back to Colorado because we met when she was doing her internship for culinary school. And then I was like, hey, I got this. Then like our relationship was not that old at this point. I was like, hey, I'm moving to Texas. Don't know what you want to do.
Our relationship was not that good.
Yeah. No. Our relationship, it was good. It was good. It was a very young relationship, right? And then I was like, I'm moving to Texas. I got this job offer. And she's like, well, I have family in Dallas, so sounds great. So like the next day she found a job for when she graduated, like in Austin here. And I was in College Station. We were like, all right, well, that's only, an hour and a half drive, not a 20 some odd hour drive or a plane. Right. And then I was coming to visit her in Austin a lot. And she actually told me about Barley Swine, where I'm at now. And, I randomly sent an email to the like get in contact with us email, sent my resume. They set up a stage, which is a working interview. Basically you work for free for a day. Sounds terrible when people say that, but it's like, you can't really interview a cook just talking to them, right? You got to see that they can carry themselves and, got a job. I've been at Barley Swine's the only restaurant I worked at in Austin.
And so how long ago was that?
7 years ago.
And you've been able to work up from line cook to sous chef?
Yep.
Is there any other in between line cook to sous chef?
No.
Yeah. And
it's like line cook and then like
I was about to say, what are the belts for?
line cook and then line cook who's been there longer.
Right.
Right. And kind of be like, hey, we don't do stuff like that here. And then sous chef. And it's a pretty small restaurant. So like some things kind of as people leave will get restructured and stuff. And that's how I ended up in my role that I'm at now. So Alexa Mejia, who's the chef de cuisine of Emmer and Rye, another fantastic restaurant in town. She was the sous chef at Barley Swine. And then she left to move on to other things to kind of grow her career. And then myself and another guy were promoted into the sous chef roles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Talking about like belts, you mentioned twice that when you're in like a new restaurant or a new kitchen that you're like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's like the trope of starting cutting onions is still kind of true in kitchens? Like you generally have to work your way up through kind of prep work maybe until you're actually plating?
I think it depends on the restaurant. And some of that dynamic is changing a little bit. So like, and that just kind of comes down to how food is. So like cutting onions is like, I still cut so many onions to this day. Like I so many. But like just using Barley Swine as an example, like we have new cooks come in and they're going to get trained on a station for anywhere from 3 days to a week. And then that's their station and they'll be plating stuff. Like their first night, they'll be plating stuff. And a lot of that's because of just the systems we have in place. We have someone expoing who is a chef. And so they're going to touch every single plate that goes out. So small changes can be made. But more of the building of flavor and things like that starts from more experienced people. So it's kind of the opposite of what I think traditionally most people would think, where the more experienced stuff, the more in-depth recipes and things like that, that there's just going to be a sauce at the end of the day, is done by people who've been there longer and have more experience, versus like plating is like, well, that if you're obsessed about plating, like in my opinion, like your obsession's in the wrong place. So you can trust someone who has minimal experience to put things on a plate the way you show them. But it's hard to tell them exactly how to build flavor without doing it together multiple times.
Yeah, that actually checks out with like how the kitchen I worked at played out. Like the oldest guy in the restaurant was making all the sauces, and it was all like from scratch sauce, and like they were the important basis for everything. Yeah, so he was still technically under prep, but he was like higher up as far as the kitchen structure goes. There was like the general manager and other kitchen managers, but that guy was in charge of the kitchen. You know, he'd been there for like 20 years. Yeah. He knew where everything was. He knew how everything worked. He would tell the managers what to order. He just had that, like, he was more in touch with everything, and the staff as well. Everybody kind of looked up to him. Yeah. So I love like the hierarchy and structure in a kitchen, because my first experience was jiu-jitsu, and then I went to a kitchen. And I was like, oh, this is the exact same.
It's the same thing. Yeah,
same thing. Belts, then there's blue belts, there's purple belts, there's brown belts, and there's black belts. And there's kind of like no escaping the experience you need to move up, right? Like you can't just jump from white to black belt in a kitchen, and same in jiu-jitsu.
Like you can't replace time.
Yeah, and experience.
Yeah. It's crazy because I think about it like, you know, I now feel like I know nothing. And it's like, you know, 5 years ago, like I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but I was still learning. And it's like, now I'm like, I've been at this, you know, I've been working in and around restaurants since I was 16 and I'm 30. I've been cooking professionally for over a decade now. And I'm like, I know nothing. And I kind of equate it to like, I've heard, you know, black belts be like, you get black belt and you're there in jiu-jitsu, and then so many black belts. I think actually I've heard you say it too, that you're like, you got black belt. You're like, all right, cool. Now I can start learning.
The way I've been thinking about that is like, I think you can just open up more, because I felt like I faked it of like using my best moves to get me through stuff on the mat, right? Like up until black belt. And then once I got there, I was like, okay, now I'm like validated in a different way. And it's like, okay, I can stop faking it, acting like I know what I'm doing. And I can just like try to figure out what the hell is actually going on. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely felt like I faked it through to get to that point. And then once you hit that point, you're like, okay, I'm the newest black belt in the state, in the country, whatever. I'm the least experienced black belt that's out there. Yeah. And it was weird for the first year. I had like the worst imposter syndrome, but now I'm almost 2 years in and I'm like settling in a little bit more. But the feeling is 100% where it feels like restarting. It really does. Yeah.
What does the process look like whenever y'all are developing a new menu or a new dish or something like that? Is everybody involved, or is it just, you know, just a select few people?
We don't have a super rigid like R&D process. Some places do. Some places are like they have an idea board and it comes forward, and then they start picking stuff. Ours is first, like it's ingredient driven for the most part, because seasonality, farm to table. So Bryce Gilmore, the owner of Barley Swine, also a number of years ago bought some land outside of Bastrop, and so now we have our own farm, which is super cool.
How long have y'all had that?
I think he bought the land in like the end of 2020, beginning of 21. Cool. We've had like a lot of our produce coming from there probably consistently for the last 2 years. Sick. But because of that, like our ingredient availability is pretty limited, but it's also like he's growing this up because we want to work with that, right? Yeah. So it's ingredient driven for sure. And then like looking forward to the seasons of like what we're going to have coming. And then that's like, what are we going to do with this year? And it does get to a point where you're like I know one thing, Kevin, the chef de cuisine, talks about is like eggplant every summer. Like, what are we going to do with eggplant? Because it's like, you can only do so many things with an ingredient. So a lot of times it's just like conversations like, hey, how do you feel about this? What if we did this? And then it's like, a lot of times goes through a weird, like morphing through, like it started as this, and then, well, what if we change this and it goes into this and in and out, and like Sometimes you start with an idea here and then you get the same idea out, or you start with an idea and it becomes something totally different. Yeah, but there's not, like for us, there's not a rigid process.
Is it pretty open? Like anybody can pitch in and pitch an idea?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
It's time dependent too. Like I think as far as restaurants go, we're pretty fair with line cooks. Like if they have an idea and they bring it forward and it's like, you know, they get the okay, it's like, go for it. Come up with it. Let's see it. Like, and a lot of time it's like, it's a component, right? Hey, what if we do this? And it's a component. And it might not be like a fully composed dish, but they'll be like, hey, I thought about doing this and this. It's like, go for it.
Be like, yo, hear me out. Hoe cakes.
Yeah. And then that might be like, yeah, we've done hoe cakes and like, we're not. Yeah. But, like there's no barrier. Like, no, you know, shut up. You get input. Now, what goes with that, and like having been there and still here, because like you get shot down for stuff all the time. It just doesn't work. Or you go through this whole process and you have an idea and you just can't make it work. And you're like, cool, I just spent like 2 weeks. Like, because I think what people think is like, when you're a chef and when you're a sous chef, that it's like, oh, well, now you're just managing people, so you have like all this free time too to do stuff. Like, no, like we're all still working too. And that's just for us. Like, I know there are restaurants where that's kind of the case, and bigger restaurants with a lot more money, like they have a whole just development team where they have a test kitchen, or they have a team of 4 people where they are just testing recipes all day.
Yeah, that was like my experience.
Yeah.
It was like a separate facility at like a headquarters with a full kitchen and like 4, I don't know, chefs, but they were just in charge of coming up with different recipes for a restaurant group with a bunch of different types of cuisine. So,
yeah.
I mean, they're just like full R&D.
That's like a much more corporate structure of it too. And that definitely happens. But like in, like kind of the more niche, like fine dining stuff, like, Noma's, they call it their test kitchen, I think. Noma's test kitchen. Noma has been up and down #1 restaurant in the world, multiple times. And
for like the past decade.
Yeah, like they're there, and then like the next year they're like #3, and then they're back, and then it closes next year though. Rene Redzepi was like closing our doors. But they're like known that they have like a full test kitchen where they'll have a whole new menu ready, and like they change seasonally, where we change dish by dish. Sorry, but
no, I was just gonna ask you to explain farm to table. I mean, it seems like a pretty basic concept, but could you explain it and then maybe compare that to like the average restaurant in America?
Yeah. So farm to table is the idea of getting everything, at least as much as you can, from just farms that are local to you and not going through mass purveyors. And because you're getting stuff local to you, you're following the seasons of the state that you're in. So farm to table and seasonality kind of go hand in hand. And so like in Texas, like wintertime, we're going into getting more of the brassicas. So, and like winter squashes. So cauliflower, collard greens, broccoli, cabbage, all that stuff is like brassicas in the wintertime that you can get, which is not stuff that you're going to get in the middle of July. But another restaurant, if they have some dish that has broccoli that isn't farm to table and a lot more high volume, I say high volume, but there's a lot of high volume, but like more kind of corporate restaurant kind of thing, they'll just be getting broccoli from all over the country all year round from these massive purveyors like Cisco, Benny Keys, Shamrock, stuff like that. Where farm to table is about like locale, but also kind of like respecting the farmers, and like they're not having to like sell off to massive broadline purveyors. Like you have a relationship with them. And there are some companies now that have facilitated that to make it a little easier to get stuff, where you're not having to like meet them, you know, at farmers markets on Saturday mornings to get stuff. Cause even though that sounds like romantic and stuff, that's one dude driving around, which like, shout out Kevin Cannon again, CDC of Barley Swine. Like he still does that for some stuff. And like, he knows all these people by name and like, get stuff from them. But sorry, I'm trying to answer this like clear. If it makes sense. So it's more like you're only serving stuff from stuff that is local to you, and you're supporting local agriculture, and you're not supporting some random farm in the Midwest, which, like, no shade on them, but part of the problem with our food system in this country is that we're doing that, right? We're getting stuff from all the way across the country when it isn't necessary if we could get people to grow it closer. And like that farm in the Midwest should be supporting the towns around it, not sending stuff here.
Do you also have rules on how they can grow the food? Like before y'all take it? I imagine you don't work with farms that are using like a bunch of pesticides or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of these smaller farms, that's just kind of the way they are. And they're going to pride themselves on being like, you know, actual organic, regenerative farming.
That's what I was thinking, right?
Yeah, that's not terrible for it. I don't want to say that like we have hard rules, but and a lot of these relationships we have with farmers like predate my time there. That's all like groundwork that was laid years ago. But I don't want to say we have like written out, typed out rules, but like if we do try to source something, it's going to be like from a farm that isn't using a bunch of pesticides and herbicides and things like that.
And you also have your own.
And we have our own too, which,
yeah.
and that's very regenerative. Like all their own compost, no pesticides.
Is it just the owner that, is it Brian?
Bryce Gilmore.
Is it just Bryce out there like working y'all's farm?
No, he has a full-time farmer.
Okay.
So, Phil, oh my gosh, I can't remember his last name. Been out there a couple times.
Shout out Phil.
Yeah, Phil. He's a cool guy. So he's a full-time farmer, Phil and his wife, and then they have some people who work there as well to help out. Some of them are cooks at Barley Swine and Odd Duck.
Cool.
And who work there like, you know, part-time on a day off or whatever, which is kind of cool. Some of them are people who work out there more or less like full-time.
That's a really cool, like, 2 jobs to have,
Yeah.
where like you're farming the food that you're then going to go cook.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a relationship with food that you probably want people to have.
Yeah.
And nobody, I mean, I feel like that's super rare to like cook food that you made.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Which is like how we got here.
Which is crazy because it's like, and it's kind of a dying thing, a lot of places of like people farming their own food or even growing their own food. And like I only like really grow my own herbs. Like I don't have this huge garden at home. I wish I did, but I don't. Yeah, it's pretty rare. And there are like some, so we talked about Emmer and Rye a little bit ago. They have their own farm also. That's the Emmer and Rye group. So, he's got a lot of restaurants now.
Does y'all's farm also supply stuff for Odd Duck as well?
Yeah. So, Barley Swine, Odd Duck, and Sour Duck are the 3 in our family. So they all get supplied from Riverfield Farms.
Why is it Duck Duck Pig?
I don't know. I didn't name them. Bryce did.
To the gardens, bro. I told you about our raised garden bed situation.
Right. Yeah.
That like, yo, straight up, like one of our biggest flexes is going out there and like picking random shit. Like got a bushel of shishitos and bell peppers and like all this like cucumbers and squash and all that.
Yeah.
And then just tossing it on the stone. I call our black stone the stone. So I be stoning shishitos. Yeah.
So I have a raised bed in front of my house, and we moved to a new house in February, and I was like, yeah, I can
Perfect time of the
garden,
year.
right?
Yeah.
Finally have a garden, and then like went to kind of rehab this garden, and it's gonna like be a few years.
Yeah.
Like it was like a foot of just old mulch on top of there, just like dead soil, and like I was like, whatever, we'll go for it. Like wife and I planted a bunch of stuff, and it just like it like lived,
just
but
trying
it
real
didn't
hard,
do anything, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be a few years, but.
Yeah, we have a huge growing
dope.
season here in Texas. So I imagine compared to other locations that farm to table is better in Texas. I'm sure there's other challenges with like the lack of rain.
Yeah.
But you have a long growing season.
Yeah,
so
there's a pretty long, pretty forgiving growing season. But kind of going back when I was in culinary school in Colorado, that school also had a farm to table centric program. Like that was where a lot of they taught it. And one of the coolest parts of culinary school for me was we got to go to a lot of local farms around Boulder, and like Colorado has pretty brutal winters. Like they
is that unique for culinary schools, you think?
I think at the time it was, but now it's just becoming a part of most programs. I think that a lot of the food culture is shifting back to that, but it's kind of a sidebar, but I wish that was like not, it still is a little trendy for some places. Like, oh, we're farm to table. And then there's a lot of places like, oh, we're farm to table. And it's like, they have like two things and they make it a point. They're like, this is from over here. And then everything else is from Cisco. It's like, you're not farm to table. Like, cool, you're working with one local farmer, but like, it takes a lot of work to actually do that. Yeah. But yeah, so like we had to like go work on farms for free. It wasn't bad. It was like a short day, but like you got to see all these pretty small local farms all around, northern Colorado. And, some of them we went to in the middle of the winter, and it's actually pretty impressive. Like where we have a long growing season in Texas, it's like they're still growing stuff in January in Colorado, which is cool.
So y'all were able to do that throughout the seasons. Is that right? Or when you were in culinary school?
Yeah. So it was part of the program that we went. I think it was like once a month, and then there was a certain unit where we went like once a week to these different farms and saw what they did. And then at the same time we did that, we went to a broadline purveyor, which broadline purveyor is like a Cisco and stuff. Yeah. We went to one of their massive distribution facilities and got a tour of that. And
you also worked there for free?
We did not work there for free. Those places are a little more strict on what you can do,
so,
right?
Yeah.
But we got like a pretty good red carpet tour of one of those places. And it was cool to see because like there is a point where you have to use those guys. Like we use a broadline purveyor at Barley Swine, but we just get all our paper goods from them, right? We're not sending someone to Costco to buy towels for the bathroom. But it's good to see where that was. So we like went through this massive facility, but then you're seeing like all of these vegetables like getting distributed to restaurants, and like you're learning about logistics, and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Like that's actually kind of cool, but you're still like, that food is like just a number to them, right? Just moving through their system, and it's just supplying it versus like you lose that respect for like someone still grew this. Like someone still put a lot of work into like this massive bag of onions or, stuff like that.
Do you think that those kind of experiences is what made you like seek out Barley Swine? Like, did you know that they were a farm to table restaurant before applying?
Yeah, I did.
And was that like an interest to you?
Yeah, it was. I wanted to do fine dining that was local produce, which is farm to table. So yeah, that's kind of where my passions have lied since I started cooking. And that probably was like set
pretty early
from culinary school. Because when I worked in the Penrose room in Colorado, they actually had a pretty decent farm going on, but it was hard to utilize because there were so many outlets that wanted stuff. So there's also a PGA rated 18-hole golf course on that property. And above that golf course, they built like 4 massive greenhouses. And they had 4 people who worked there full time.
Above the golf course?
I say that because the property's on a hill. Okay. So the top of the golf course,
think mountains.
Yeah.
What?
It was like on a bit. No, yeah.
How does this work?
So,
what world are we in?
I think like seeing that.
You're such a dumbass.
Yeah.
I was like, there's this
Is this the podcast moment of you like singing mid-roll?
It's
he might do
it could
that.
be.
Yeah. He might
Come be the man I need. I'll just be in my house, bro. Talk to me.
But when I was like in the Penrose room, when we got stuff from that farm, that was, I think, really like, even though I had been like educated about it and seen it in school, like actually getting to work with stuff that was like, oh, hey, I'm up on the 9th floor. I can see the greenhouses from here. Now, like, it wasn't our full menu. It was a couple of like garnishes and stuff, but it was still like, all right, this is really cool. Like, it's not just coming in from a box that gets dropped off. You're like, we like had to get here early and like take a golf cart over there and get it from these people.
Yo, when we lived in Seattle, we lived in a little condo apartment kind of joint, 2nd floor, right on top of a sushi restaurant.
Oh, sick.
It's really sick. We had like a little corner unit, and we had a back door, sliding door to the like common area patio, right? A bunch of grills, and it had like a nice little like garden area. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, go for it. You know, it's open use. What I didn't know, or so I would go out there, I would go out there and like make my little like Chipotle bowls, you know, like cut up some arugula, cut up, you know, some eggplant, shishitos, tomatoes, all kinds of shit. And just be grilling out there, having a good ass time. Like a real I love that shit. What I didn't know is that they didn't tell me that only a select, like, few plots are common area garden for or common area garden for like the tenants, I guess. And the vast majority, which is where all the good shit was for the sushi restaurant downstairs. So
you
for
were just
like
helping yourself,
bro, it was great. I come out with like a whole little basket, you know, like chopping shit and just going right onto the grill or doing a little bowl. It was so good. But after a couple like months of doing that, there were signs saying that like, this is for whatever the sushi restaurant is. This is for the sushi. This is for the sushi restaurant. I'm like, oh no.
Oopsies.
I felt so bad.
Some poor chef is just like, God damn, we have serious infestation of squirrels or something. I'm losing all my fucking arugula.
We have nothing. What is going on?
What part of Seattle do you live in?
Just south of the university. I forgot what it's called. South of University District.
Yeah.
East Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. We were there for a year, bro.
I love Washington.
Fucking loved it. We were talking about going to a bunch of farms, right?
Yeah.
And like picking shit and going and cooking them. Do you have a favorite eating season?
Dude, I was like, knew you guys were going to ask some question like that. And there's another one in my head that I like don't want you to ask.
What is it?
Not really. No, I'm not going to tell you. It's an obvious one. I don't know. I'm a big fan of wintertime.
Yeah.
Like I really,
For the
I'm a big fan
for the brassicas.
the brassicas.
Just learned that fucking 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Quercus.
Quercus alba.
Yeah, I'm a big I'm a big fan of brassicas. I don't know, like I like broccoli, but I think they're cool. Do a lot of because it's like they're all the same family, but there's so many different ones. They're just good. Like I don't know,
Bro. I fucking
explain
love me
that
some
further.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Sorry, the brassicas, because I didn't realize that until a couple of years ago. It's like mustard seed,
yeah. So
broccoli, cabbage is all the same
yeah,
plant.
What?
kind of yeah. So they're all so brassicas are like all a variant of mustards, and I've heard a couple of different reasons. Is like it started as a wild mustard plant, and then they just like kind of selectively bred them over hundreds of years. But it's like mustards, like all mustards, greens, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, romesco, cabbage, kohlrabi. They're like all started from the same plant at some point, and like those have just either on their own kind of evolved into what they are, and also through like broccoli and cauliflower at one point, like you can actually trace it, like someone like those were bred to be that way, and not like Monsanto in a lab bullshit. Like they just kind of they pick out, oh, this one kind of looks like this, be like that, and then they get like the divergent from the next one, and that's like more towards that, and just like over multiple generations went from like broccoli to cauliflower, is the other way around. I don't know, but like same with like kale, like they started to get like a little bit of a flower coming out of it, and then they like took that, and then that's how they got into broccoli.
That's wild. Yeah, I was like, how the
That's
hell
at
do you
least-
take a leafy green and end up with a fucking chunky knobbly boy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That don't make sense.
Well,
to
look
me.
at like collard greens and kale, right?
I can understand that,
Right. So they're
but broccoli's like,
yeah, but so like you'll get like on kale, like you'll start to get like something that looks a little like a little mini broccoli, and so they just and like I could
Broccolini.
like I'm not a farmer, I'm not a botanist, but like it's through like breeding it through that, like they slowly and like how exactly they got there, I don't know. Like I've read some different stuff, but yeah, they're all the same family.
silly.
Yeah.
Brassica.
So we're,
Wait, is the family Brassica?
It's a brassica.
Okay. I'm gonna just. I try to keep a lot of generic terms in my pocket. So if somebody asks me things, it's like, oh, that's.
Like, that's a
everything.
brassica.
That's literally everything.
You're
It's
like walking
oh,
HEB
stone fruit.
You're gonna walk in HEB tonight with your girl, be like, "Oh, babe, look at all these brassicas."
Yeah, 100%. Or like whenever I'm tasting like coffee or whiskey or wine or anything, I just need something real generic, like as a flavor note. Brassica's not a real good one, but I can just pull out stone fruit out of anything and like not miss.
You were talking about respect for, and we've been talking a lot about like plants and herbs and that kind of stuff. Does Barley Swine's farm and whatever other sources you have, are you guys also sourcing animals from those kind of places?
Yeah. All of we Riverfield Farm, which is the farm that Barley Swine that's our farm. I know there's some chickens and stuff there, but we're not getting anything from that. I'm not sure if that's Bryce's long-term plan or not. But all of our meat also comes from ethical and sustainable sources. So like all of our beef comes from Beeman Ranch, and that's all Akushi ribeye, which is like the best beef ever. Akushi is the breed of cattle. Beeman's the farm. And then our ducks come from Bellevue Farms. And then as we change things throughout, like we work with the same kind of places. We're not just going to be like, all right, well, all our vegetables are good, but like, let's just go get some, Smith packing pork. Like pork, we're using Richardson's and Peaceful Pork also. And then one that's really cool that we're doing is we're getting oysters from a company called Big Tree, and they're out of Rockport, Texas. And oyster farming in Texas is an actually newly legalized thing. You could get wild harvested ones, but for the Texas Department of Wildlife, for some reason that I don't know, was not allowing oyster farming, and now it's legal. And their oysters are really, really good that we get, but they also take our shells back from us. So we save all the shells, and then every time they drop them off to us every week, we give them shells back, and then they hold on to those, they crush them and put them back into their beds.
Nice.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like themes of sustainability and that kind of stuff. So with all that being said, you're talking about like ethical sources for the animals. What's wrong with the food industry in the U.S.?
I think a lot of people don't know where their meat comes from. And I think if they did, they wouldn't eat meat. And goes back to what we talked about earlier, where like you're getting pork that's from across the country and not from someone local to you. And these like crazy confined animal feed operations that are going on, where it's the cattle or the pigs or the chickens, it's just a number, it's a dollar amount. How fast can I get that to meat to sell? And I think some of it is a bit of an overconsumption of it, and it's consumers not respecting where the meat's coming from, and it's causing and this isn't new, this has been going on, for a very long time, that it's just, I don't necessarily think that the farmers who are doing this are just greedy or trying to get rich, because I don't think they are the ones, but it's like they have packers coming to them and processors who are getting like, how fast can you get this to us? And it's that's where a lot of like these diseases in food that the mad cow disease is directly related to a confined animal feed operation. I think it's broken, and like I wish people kind of knew more where their meat came from.
Yeah. Something we've talked about off the podcast a ton is hunting.
Yeah.
And to your point of knowing where it comes from and maybe not wanting it, I've kind of been there, right? I've been to where I'm like, oh God, like this seems so wrong. Even coming from a lifetime of hunting.
Yeah.
Just like as a young adult, I was like, I don't really like eating meat, thinking about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm more comfortable with it, I guess, but also trying to get like a lot of my meat from hunting, which is, you know, at least like you said, I know where it's coming from, and I don't know exactly what these animals are eating, but I can rely pretty heavily that they're mostly organic diets and they're not eating a ton of stuff. I'm sure environmentally all of our water's contaminated and the soil's probably contaminated, but at least it's a wild animal living its life, and you can tell that the meat is different
And relatively low stress.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of it.
That's
and
an
like,
interesting point.
and that's a big one. And like, I've heard arguments for why like you can't claim that like wild game is organic, especially down here where there's a lot of like large cornfields and soybean fields and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not being almost force fed that every day. They're gonna maybe graze through that once in a while. So I'm like, okay, but they're also not being crammed into a corral with thousands of other cattle or whatever. It's just a deer, pigs that we both hunt.
Yeah.
Like free roaming. And it's like, okay, like they maybe ate some questionable corn, but like I'd rather that than an animal that's like super stressed out.
Is there like, so that kind of covers, it makes perfect sense for the animals and like the meat industry. What is wrong with like the plants, mushrooms, that kind of side of the food industry as it kind of relates to restaurants and stuff? I mean, you said earlier.
Yeah,
it's
kind of we talked about earlier where
right,
it's like
corn grown in one state being sent somewhere else.
Yeah. I think some of it starts with the corporatization of restaurants. Honestly, these massive restaurant groups, then massive restaurant chains. And like, I'll call myself out constantly. Like, I love Texas Roadhouse. I'm the worst, right? It's a huge. I love Texas Roadhouse. That's like my favorite $20 steak, right? So like, I'm not gonna like, okay, I'm a bit of a hypocrite, yeah, but like, there's all these crazy restaurant chains where like product just comes in and like a lot of the time done in house. And to answer that, like, it's just like, well, we have this set national menu. We have to hit it all the time.
Right.
And they can't, you can't, with standards that are across a nation or even a whole like region, you can't hit that if you change it every like 3 months, right?
Yeah, for like the quality control. It has
the
to
quality
be
control, you can't.
I'm going to a Texas Roadhouse in Colorado versus in Texas versus
Yeah.
another state too. It's got to taste the same.
It's got to taste the same. And so you can't hit that. And something a really good friend of mine said one time, like years ago, was, well, any chef who respects themselves is going to basically be doing farm to table anyways. And like he said that like when I was like 20, and like I still remember that. And I was like,
as you're shoving Taco Bell in your
mouth. And I was like, that's a good like point. Like if you should want to work with like good ingredients and like local ingredients, because so you just naturally you kind of become farm to table. So I think that food system comes from like some of these more corporate restaurants where they want to be able to serve the same thing like year round. And it's like, okay, well, how are you going to get tomatoes in the middle of January? Well, you're going to get them from a greenhouse in Mexico, right? And that's just kind of what you do to make that happen versus not respecting that, hey, we have tomatoes from like maybe the end of May until like end of August. And that's what it is.
Yeah, but how in the world now with the modern grocery store do you convince a consumer that they shouldn't have that ripe tomato in January? You know, like
you can't.
I don't even know where you would begin to kind of backtrack from this current situation.
And like kind of a hypocrite because like, yeah, I bought tomatoes in the grocery store too. Like it's hard. It's also like, and I don't have a solution to it. Like I wish that it was not as easy to just get that stuff.
Yeah.
I wish the solution would happen when there's like a world crisis.
Yeah.
At least in this country,
it's going to get changed.
At least in this country, for sure. And Yeah, it's like, because I think it's really hard for a lot of these farmers to get their stuff to market, if you will, right? It's like there's farmers markets, and go to your local farmers market, support it. You know, if you like all the tomatoes they have, buy all of them. You'll make a farmer's day. Like, don't be like, oh, I want to leave some. Like, no, buy all of them, right? But
I love a good tomato.
yeah.
Bro. Oh my god.
But it's hard. It's one day a week, right? That we're not set up in this country for the most part to have that that system where it's like there's a food stall and they're selling all local stuff like they are in other parts of the world.
Yeah, are you aware of it? I could think of like small rural communities, obviously working kind of farm to table. But are you aware of any other countries in like a more modern setting that has good examples of a food industry? Like, is there any European country that's crushing it on healthy food that you're aware of?
Yeah, like minor experience. So like when I was in Paris this summer, there's markets everywhere, and that was like every day of the week. And like there are supermarkets there, but they're like super small, and they had produce for sure. But there were markets that were stuff that was in season, and like I didn't do maybe as much investigation as I should. Like, oh, where's this from? But I also didn't want to be like some, ignorant American who's like, is this from 5 miles from here? Or like, you know what I mean? So like, but it seemed it was all stuff that was in season, and would make sense that it was probably from within, a couple hours of there. I also know that like in the EU, they are a little more restrictive on how much you can move stuff around with livestock and produce and things like that. I'm not like 100% sure on what those restrictions are, but they have things in place to support local agriculture commerce.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what? I think the one potentially like solution or step in the right direction, right, would be to not just have farmers markets literally one day a week. You mentioned that earlier,
Yeah.
right? Because you said in Paris, they have markets there and available all the time, right? But here, your one shot at farmers market is one day a week essentially. So maybe if they had that more often, and it probably wouldn't be every day, it probably wouldn't be sustainable every day, but more
There
often.
is one that, and I can't remember the name of it, that's in Austin. They have 2 stores, and they're kind of like a co-op that has stuff locally. And the fact that the name is forgetting me right now, I feel awful. But they have stuff, and like I know Natural Grocers is really good about like working with local farmers.
Gotcha.
And like to that credit, like HEB and Central Market are pretty good about at least getting Texas produce. And maybe tomatoes were a bad example because you can actually grow tomatoes really well in the winter in a greenhouse, but like, you can't grow broccoli in the middle of the summer, to my knowledge. Yeah, a brassica. You love that word now. So yeah,
it's my stem of the day.
But it is like HEB, they're doing it, but they're getting it from these massive farms that also have contracts with like the purchaser for Walmart and stuff too. So it's like, yeah, it's from Texas, which is great, but there's also these small farms where it's like, that's really a guy just trying to make his living on, potentially the land that he's grew up on.
Do you have a favorite grocery store?
Like full-blown grocery store?
Whatever.
Well, it's HEB, dude.
It's
gotta be HEB.
I like to ask people not from Texas what their favorite grocery store
A second,
is.
because you lived in Washington.
Yeah.
Hagen's.
I'm not familiar.
Maybe they're only in like northern Washington.
Okay. No, I
there's like
really did enjoy QFC.
I was gonna say
when we
because
were
there's
there.
QFC like around Seattle, but Hagen's is like kind of a little bit of like Whole Foods meets HEB. It's a decent grocery store.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, QFC was all right. And in Ohio, there was a Giant Eagle. Bro, Giant Eagle kind of fucks. Sorry. I love food. I'm mighty high calorie.
There's like a crossover of some things like I studied in college and like what you're talking about because I studied exercise science.
Okay.
So like one of the last courses I took was called the obesity epidemic.
Okay.
And it was just trying to like first we just had to look at like who's obese. I've talked about this on here before, but it was also like why are Americans so especially obese? And it kind of goes to what you're talking about, like go back in time to the start of fast food restaurants. But I think kind of on your point with like more than one day a week farmers markets, it's about how our cities are designed, right? Like you don't have a walkable city, and a farmer's market is a place that you're going to go on a walk and you're going to go get some baguettes and then go back home, right? But if you don't live in a place where walking is even feasible, like where we're at in Central Texas, like that's never going to be an option. And so a lot of what we looked at in that class was trying to find different reasons of why everybody got so obese in America. And surprisingly to me, kind of the focus was the structure of cities, fast food chains, drive-throughs, cars, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The way that we have built society here, it's just built for the food industry.
Yeah.
And it's not really possible to kind of walk that back. And then like we're in Houston. I went to school in Houston, huge major city, and we had to try to find like walkable communities even in Houston, and like to have a place where you could work, live, and get all the stuff you need was like one area. There was like one option, pretty central.
Yeah.
It was like the Midtown area. But other than that, like even in Houston, a major city, you still can't really have a walkable life. So that's why everybody's in their car, eating in their car at a drive-through, because the convenience factor is just to fit how we've built the cities and stuff.
Yeah, drive-throughs are hella convenient. It's so crazy. I love food. I love
Same.
I love getting shit local. I love farm to table, right? But I feel like it's for like the average person, you know, like just out there living, I feel like that's a really big ask. Mm-hmm. To your point, being in a city that isn't like really built for that, you know what I mean? And you're talking about exercise science. I love food. I also like to move a lot. I feel like a really good first step at the very least is just cooking, right?
I've said very similar things myself, like
Yeah.
before this. Is like I wish more people cooked at home.
Yeah, just make like whatever you eat, like just make it, you know, versus drive-throughs, versus just, I don't know, buying prepared foods or buying like boxed, you know, like pre-made shit. You know, I hear the concept of like going like shopping the perimeter of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or something. Have you heard that?
We
You know
talked
what I
about that in school too.
Yeah.
Well, because the middle aisles is just all the stuff coming from Cisco.
All that shit that
all
tastes good.
Yeah.
It's all in packages.
Within like exception of like, you know, you can get like good pasta and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say like rice.
Yeah.
And
Some
greens.
rice, pasta, but yeah, it's for sure. It's like it's a problem, and that's funny because I've said the same thing. Like I wish more people cooked at home.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're cooking at home, like even 3 nights a week, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Like then there's so many factors to that too. Like in my opinion, like
Oh, dude, if I want 1,000 calories and I can sit in my car, go through a drive-through, and it takes me 5, maybe 10 minutes, compared to going inside the grocery store, back out, back inside my home, then I got to cook the food, then I got to do dishes. Like it's just time.
yeah,
You know. And we live in like the hustle culture, and you got like Hormozy being like, just get Chipotle, it's faster, keep grinding. You know, so you got people telling you like not to sit down, take your time, cut your onions, and make your own
but
meal.
also like, and there some of this is a crossover of like when we were talking about earlier, like food's getting expensive, like raw product is getting expensive, but there's also like a lot of inflation on those prices that you see for like prepared food, and it's like, cool,
Absolutely.
go get Chipotle. I went to Chipotle, like I haven't been there in a while, but I used to go there all the time. Dude, it's like almost $40 for 2 people now. It's like, that's not sustainable.
Oh, you out here getting guac, boy.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna get guac. You don't get guac at your Chipotle? Like? So like, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's can't, I mean, even if it's 4 nights a week, you know, and that's for 2 people, it's like $160 a week on Chipotle for 5 nights. Doesn't cover every night. And that only covers like 1 meal. Like that's basically my grocery budget for a week. For everything. So it's like,
And
Yeah,
Chipotle's at least moderately healthy.
Yeah. And that's the
Pretty
other
decent
option.
macros.
But it's like, I mean, I don't think that like with, you know, dollar being tighter and stuff anymore, like that's not a sustainable option.
So
But
then
it's
you're
like-
going to go even cheaper. Then you're going to go
Right.
Whataburger, McDonald's, Taco Bell. Yeah, I don't. The other interesting thing, we were talking about obesity recently, and we have actually seemingly hit the peak. So maybe 2 years ago, somewhere around
Was that the peak?
2022.
Kind of makes sense.
So yeah, we're finally actually seeing the drop in obesity in America, and you know, a small part could be economic, right? It's expensive to continuously gain weight.
No, you know what it is?
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
No, you first.
You?
Let's go.
I want to hear Juice's theory.
I was gonna say pickleball.
Do you play pickleball?
No.
Okay, thank you. We can
But
still be
people
friends.
be shitting on pickleball. We talked about this with Nick.
Yeah.
Nick's episode, which comes out this Friday. It hasn't even come out yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. And we were talking about he was big into CrossFit, jumped into high rocks, and people just be shitting on all kinds of things, right? On all kinds of activities, right? A lot of people love CrossFit. A lot of people shit on it. A lot of people love high rocks. A lot of people shit on it. A lot of people love pickleball, but a ton of people shit on it, like you. Like my lady.
Yeah.
I kind of shit on it a little bit
Well,
too.
no,
but,
I shit on pickleball to you, but I want to defend what I said. If it's someone who would instead be sitting on the couch playing video games, go play some pickleball.
Exactly.
I did it for you because you're
Yeah,
like
but
a super athlete.
those aren't the people.
What? Because I what?
Well, because you're like a super athlete.
What?
Those-
I can fuck with pickleball.
That's not happening though. The people playing pickleball are already like fitness people and stuff like that. I don't see anybody that's obese playing pickleball and then losing weight from it. I'm sure there's examples. There's
Yeah,
got to be a guy. There's a
they're
guy
out
who's
there.
lost
Yeah,
150 pounds from
so-
it, but
So someone like
it's a fitness fad that all the other fitness people that already
that.
do
Okay, that's
fitness are
fair.
in,
That's fair.
You know?
But I think there is. I don't think it's anyone like in malice, but it is kind of hard to get into a new sport, and I think like that's where some of that barrier comes. Like
For what? What are you talking about?
Like if
you talking about pickleball?
No,
You shitting on pickleball again?
I'm not shitting on pickleball. I'm not shitting on pickleball. But like if you are obese, like it's like where do you start?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's hard. And
we
like
were
this
talking
is
about
so I grew up an athlete. I was in a bunch of sports, and then I cycled pretty competitively for a while, and then and this kind of does play into the whole fast food thing too. Around the time I like really started being like I want to like be a really good chef. I want to like grow. Then I was grinding, and then you get off work and you're like, oh, what's good? McDonald's, right? And I stopped working out, and then I got like really fat. like really fat.
Like what? What's that?
Like close to 240,
And
That's
where?
pretty
What are you
fat,
now?
dude.
180.
My man.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah. And
Hey,
then,
look at thick. You got pictures? I gotta see that.
yeah, I got pictures.
Oh, soft boy.
And then I like started working out, and I was working out after work at like 1 a.m. Because I was like, I gotta do
fucking
something.
insane.
It was
Props
brutal.
to
It was
you,
hard.
dude.
And
Holy
then,
shit.
and I was like, I gotta lose weight. And like, I didn't really know where to start. And then like I had started losing a lot of weight and then got into jiu-jitsu. But that barrier of like, if you're someone who didn't work out a lot as a kid, you're not like, you weren't an athlete growing up, and then you just life, like a lot of people just get heavier and you're like, oh, like, where do you start? Like, it's intimidating. Like I've dropped in a couple CrossFit gyms, like in shape that I am now. And it's like, it's intimidating. So I can't imagine being like with the obesity thing. It's like, that's why I'm like, if you're doing anything, do it. And like, I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, but like there is kind of like a gatekeepiness to it, but I don't think it's intentional. It's like, there's like these communities that are like hard to like, and like jiu-jitsu is super welcoming, but I think everyone in jiu-jitsu is like, oh yeah, come train. But like outside looking in, like that's intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, jiu-jitsu sucks. Like that's the thing with jiu-jitsu. If it works for you for weight loss and stuff, it's still going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Like it still sucks. And you're going to get beat up.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with all that. So that would be a whole nother layer compared to a
Yeah, it
CrossFit
sucks if
gym.
you're
A CrossFit
fit.
gym. Yeah.
Yeah, like going to a cycling class, still super intimidating. But jiu-jitsu, you're going to have to be at like the same level of fatigue. But now you also have to deal with someone physically fucking you up.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's rough.
I have one more food question for you.
Okay.
I was like looking at one of your Instagrams or your
Okay.
Instagram, and like, would you say you have like a special interest or like a specialty in fermentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Try if you can. Try to like break down what fermentation is, and then like how that falls into food for you, and like what you like to do with it.
Yeah. So fermentation is a little trendy right now, but can't forget, it's something that has been going on for thousands of years. Like making beer is fermentation.
Right.
Making bread is fermentation. And I kind of approach it from saving like food waste, right? So not wasting product, whether it's going to go bad or there's a lot of a vegetable that doesn't get used that sometimes can get turned into something else. And then also preservation. So something we do at Barley Swine is during the summer, during chili season, we will lacto ferment a bunch of chilies.
Let's go.
And then we can just hold those all winter long.
Wico just got hard to you saying lacto fermentation.
Yeah, lacto fermentation. So we can lacto because it's you can't if we're gonna in Texas if we're gonna try to serve chilies, well, it's weird, we're still getting some habanada peppers from our farm, but habanada. It's a habanero that's not spicy.
Okay.
It's
shit.
Amazing.
Fuck yeah.
It's amazing.
Habanada.
Yeah. Habanada.
Nada.
There's also jalapenos.
Jalapeno.
Yeah. But we if we want to get chilies in the middle of February, you can't. We'd have to get them from some random farm
Central America.
in Central America. But it's if we're putting in work to preserve this stuff all year round, sure. And then so you can serve chilies in February. And then also for the food waste perspective, I've made some misos and stuff from butternut squash seeds. It's kind of cool. So misos, you introduce koji, which is an inoculated rice. It has an enzyme that breaks down proteins, and then that gets broken down into glutamates, and then it's heavily salted as well to stop bad bacteria from growing, and you get naturally forming monosodium glutamate, MSG, which is super flavorful.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that shit on everything.
that's yeah. So so traditionally miso is soybeans and koji, and they grow the soybeans for that. But with anything that has protein in it, you can essentially turn it into a miso. And so you can use a lot of scraps of things. And we also do stuff fully intentional. We have pinto bean miso that we use. That's Rancho Gordo pinto beans, and it's a great miso. And that's intentionally fully. We're using these beans to make miso. We can also do other things to just reduce food waste and get a second use out of a vegetable that might, the trim might get thrown away.
Besides beer, what's your favorite fermented food?
Kimchi.
Nice.
Hands down. I love kimchi.
Nice.
Do you have a lot of jars of random shit just kind of bubbling or has bubbled away in your spot?
At work?
No.
Or at home?
At home?
Not really. I was more into it at home for a while, and I'll still do some stuff. If I buy it sucks because I work Saturdays, so it's really hard to go to the farmer's market.
I was about to ask if you go to a lot of farmers markets, but I was probably.
I've got a couple things of hot sauce. I've made a good amount of kimchi at home, but not currently. And you got to be careful because it's hard to do that. You can do it at home. Totally should. I think people should try doing that. Make their own kimchi, but you can get carried away real quick and your house can start smelling really bad if you've got 10 things going at once. It's a lot.
And you're burping them or whatever.
Yeah, you're burping them and stuff, but.
Dope. All right. Well, I got to take a little break and then we'll.
Cool. Sounds good.
Come be the man I need. Talk to me.
What are you talking about?
Burgers.
Other spots in town.
Yeah, other spots. Yo,
Yeah, I feel like Wico is extremely well versed in dining.
Yeah.
He seems to know every fucking restaurant's name, and I don't know anything about the Austin food scene.
We gotta go. Are you ever available for a buffalo happy hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You're not. Dang.
You invited me one time and I didn't see the text, and I was like, I work next door, right?
Fuck yeah, yeah. That's part of the reason.
Yeah.
I figure fucking right there.
It sounds like you're naming a Scotch. Euphalin?
Bufalina.
Bufalina.
It is kind of close to some scotches. Are you ever available for a? You're never available from 4:30 to 5:30, are you? 4
Except
to
for
5:30. Friday. Oh,
Yeah.
5:30. I don't know. I thought their happy hour was a little later than that.
no, I think it's like 4 to
So
5:30.
I work mornings right now, so my evenings are free.
So 4 to 5:30, Friday.
I can try to make a 5:30 maybe.
Let's go.
Did
It's like my favorite happy hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalina does a good job. They do a really good job. Because I like, you're like, what's your favorite food? Like tacos or pizza?
Hell yeah. How do you eat at home?
standing over the sink?
Sometimes.
I'd be doing that, yeah.
Yeah. You mean like,
Do you pull out tweezers?
Fuck no. Fuck no, I don't play with tweezers at home. I with a spoon at home as much as I can.
Bro, same.
Seriously. Like
The bowl and the spoon.
the bowl and the spoon. Yeah. No, I think a lot of people think like chefs go home and they like open their fridge and have this bounty of ingredients. We just cook crazy stuff. And it's like, yeah, every once in a while, like I'll do some cool stuff, but like it's not these crazy multi-component dishes. Like it's so hard to do that stuff at home.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like, but you can do like a bowl of food with like a lot of flavor in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do make tacos a good bit at home, and I make pizza a good bit at home.
How do you make pizza? Are you making the dough?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a oven? Do you do it in the oven?
I do it
you
in the
have pizza
oven, but I have a pizza steel.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to make pizza at home, get a pizza steel. It's worth the investment.
And you think that would suffice over something like a lot of people talk about like a uni or some of those?
My
like
understanding of the uni is unless you're gonna buy their super top end one, it's not really worth it.
It's ass.
I don't say it's ass, but it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
Unless you buy their top end one, you can get pretty close to like an actual wood fired brick oven.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones, just like get a pizza stone. It's like not something you have to like set up and get going. Like not a pizza stone, a pizza steel, specifically a steel.
Mm-hmm.
So what, you just leave that inside your oven on the rack and then put the pizza on that so it has better heat conduction or whatever?
Yeah,
like
it's
a carbon
exactly
steel.
it. It's like pizza stones were big for a while, and then like at one point someone was like, "What if we cook this on steel?" Because like brick oven pizza, like that is brick, but the inside of the oven is 900 degrees. The inside of your home oven is 550 if you're lucky. And so like go touch when it's 105 degrees out in Texas in the summer. Go touch the cement on your driveway. It's warm, you can touch it, but then like go grab a bare metal railing, it'll burn your hand. But it's the same heat. So it's because
Bro, you ever get in your
heat
car
gets
and
better.
like your shirt comes up a little bit and you fucking singe yourself on the goddamn seatbelt? Yeah.
But
That's
it's
that.
because the steel's the same heat. But yeah, pizza steels are great. You just leave it in there, you cook the pizza on that. It's sick.
Is there a particular brand you should go for or generic Amazon? Whatever's fine.
Oh, I think like the one I have is like that I really like. It's like I think it's the original pizza steel or whatever.
That's the
Yeah,
That's the
it's
shit.
like something
Okay,
like that. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Is
pretty
it like
heavy.
cast iron or is it like
No,
carbon
it's
steel?
just like it's plate steel.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like 3/8 of an inch plate steel.
Speaking of plate steel, any interest in armored combat?
Armored combat.
Hell yeah.
Wiko really wants to put on a suit of armor and go do MMA against somebody, which I support.
Not against you, bro. No.
Not against me, just in general.
Like, are you down?
Can I bring the blicky? Like, where do you draw the line at armor?
No, we're talking about a sport. Armored
a sport.
combat, like a sport. You go
Yeah.
to
Don't
they
like
do
a
that?
wooden octagon. You can have a sword.
Don't
I
they
know
do
if
this
there's
at
rules.
Renaissance fairs?
Well, it's kind of like really turning into a sport. Like, it's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Like, they do it at like fitness expos and stuff.
Yeah, I'll
And
go
it's
do
on
this.
TV
Sounds
now
fun.
too.
It's a thing. You down?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's go do this.
So we'll go to happy hour first.
Okay.
And then we'll train.
do armor.
Post happy hour, I'm gonna be way more likely to say yes.
Hold on. Do I get Davis in my corner though? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Davis is obviously on my corner.
I don't have much expertise in historical European martial arts, but I got.
I can't give you directions to wield the Morning Star.
I'd like to think that there's like crossover that would probably help. Like you
Yeah.
got to keep them in front of you.
Like toe knuckle.
Shuffle your feet, stuff like that. Yeah, the toe knuckle. You might play some lasso guard and a suit of armor. I'd be surprised if it worked, but
It'd be nice.
might work.
It'll be fucking nice. Segue into
Hunter beating your ass?
Calm down.
Is this the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
I did not beat your ass.
He
don't even-
annihilated me.
I don't
No,
even
I did.
remember.
Okay.
All right, hold on. To preface, Wiko and I have talked about on here multiple times now. The reason we started the podcast was because he went super viral
reason that we're
on my other YouTube channel. And we've also mentioned multiple times that Wiko did not win the bracket on the time he put his first opponent to sleep. He got beat by Hunter.
That's me.
So all of those people that were saying that he was a black belt in judo and sambo, he actually lost. I guess you were a white belt at the time.
I was a white belt too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's weird about so I was like warming up at that tournament somewhere off, and then like my coach came over and was like, "Oh, hey dude, your division's starting on this mat." So like ran over there. And
let's scope out the competition.
yeah, no, he was like, "Your division's starting, you know, they're probably gonna run pretty quick. Let's go over there." So I like walked over right as you two walked on the mat.
Yeah.
Right? The guy, you being the guy that you slept, that's the viral video, right? That everyone says there's no way that guy's a white belt. And I see this is the first like jiu-jitsu match I had like actually intently watched in person. And I watched this kid get put to sleep. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I competing? And I saw it was you, and I was like, okay.
Take note, that guy.
Yeah, take note, that guy, right? And then I had my other two matches. They went pretty well. And then I was up against you for the finals. You would beat my homie Mason.
Your homie, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we like went, and I was like, oh shit, it's the guy who put that kid to sleep. And then I think you hit me with the same collar drag you hit him with, and almost like the same setup to like that like Bravo choke type thing.
Yeah, like,
Or,
it was like
yeah,
like a
yeah,
choke.
right. And then like you almost put me out too. Like I almost tapped, and I don't remember. My brain is telling me like at that same time
because you were
might have been a different
unconscious and you were
time.
just an autopilot.
I wasn't. Yeah, Mason was like, because our whole plan was like, we're opposite the bracket. Him and I were going to meet in the finals. We're like, it's the first tournament. We're going to fucking meet in the finals. And we're like, to the death, right?
Yeah.
That was our plan. Well, then you got in the way. But and then he yells, it has to happen at some point. And I was like, I can't lose to this guy. And you were like up on points, I think.
Yeah, all this.
I think so until the very end.
You were like fucking me up.
I wasn't fucking you up.
You had almost put me out. And then somehow I got out of it. You then almost tapped me again and got out of it. And then we like some weird stand up happened, I think. And then you like did something weird. And I like hopped on your back and got my hooks in with like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
And like, cause I think you were up by 2s and I got 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah. So I'm the guy who beat Wiko. He's not. And like, to be fair, like to your, like to the defense of everyone being like, he's not a white belt. Like I've been training like 6-8 months at that point. And like the only reason why you lost was because you hadn't been training that.
I was around similar. I think I was like
similar?
8-9 months.
Yeah, because you
8-9
basically
months?
started training that year.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we have a very similar
I think we're
timeline.
very similar timeline then. Yeah. So like, also we weren't training at the same gym, obviously.
Right.
I know
Yeah,
people
we
that-
weren't at the
there's
same
people,
gym.
Like I had no idea like who you were, and like I was training at a different gym before I came to Fight Factory. Now I met you guys, but yeah, like the way I won was because you made like a white belt mistake. Like you showed me your back, and I was just like, hop on your back.
Yeah.
And like also shout out Farouk Khan, who was coaching me that day. Like he was like, get his back. He was yelling at me like in the most like straightforward, great coaching, like straightforward. Like you need to get your hook in. Go to your right hip. You need to get your hook in. And like I did, and like that. But it was, I got to your back because of you were a white belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's the funniest thing of like I call it white belt scraps.
Yeah.
Specifically when I set it up in the gym, it's like white belt death match. I absolutely love watching.
So much fun.
I think that there's a future for professional jiu-jitsu that's just white belt death match because of those mistakes. It's so much more entertaining to watch.
I've been trying to set up an actual white belt deathmatch.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm thinking back to I was recording video that day, obviously, and like, yeah, just mistake after mistake. But there's so much effort and there's so much passion. Like you said, like it's like your first one, and you kind of impose some pressure on yourself. Like, this is gonna be sick, and it's kind of like the same progression you see with like high school football to NCAA to NFL, where like the passion dies.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah.
And I feel like unfortunately, I've seen that in some jiu-jitsu matches where you can see two guys that are like, I'm good, you're good, I'm not going to make a mistake, you're also probably not going to make a mistake, and if we just sit here and collar tie for 15 minutes, that's what it is,
do.
you know?
But yeah, white belt, it's
kind of
like
the NFL. Yeah, and then like trials is kind of like the NCAA, where it's like you go to ADCC trials and it's like people are trying to, they're really fighting for
that's
their
like
spot.
they're not like, oh,
really
I can
gain
win
some
on
respect out there. And yeah, then like the worst example was the first day of CJI 2, where everybody was going out there to not be the guy to get subbed. Nobody was going out there to try to get submissions. They were like, I don't want to let my team down and be the guy who got submitted. So everybody was fine with like an 8-minute match just ending in a draw.
It's like they were fighting not to lose. They weren't fighting to win. And it was just really.
And then they change it and they offer whatever the submission bonus was. I can't even remember anymore.
$50,000?
I don't think it was that much, was it?
10
That
grand?
was like,
It was thousands.
It was
in
money.
incentive.
It was money.
It might have been 50. I don't remember. But yeah, that completely changed how those NFL players were competing, right? There started being all sorts of subs because they incentivize them. So I think that that's a good lesson in like for professional grappling. We got to somehow get these professionals back into their white belt death match mentality.
Yeah.
You know, where they really want to win.
what rule set would that be
For white belt death match?
for black belt, white belt match?
Oh, I just think it's stuff like the pay structure and incentives like that.
Oh, gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
Like I think the UFC has a bunch of great fights just for that $50,000 bonus they've been doing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they used to even have it more specific where it was like submission of the night, you know, fight of the night. And like, I guess both fighters would get it on fight of the night. So there's like maybe 4 guys that would get $50,000 per card. Mm-hmm. And like guys fight for that stuff, you know? Yeah. So if you're a smaller promotion and you can't offer $50,000, that's totally understandable. But just like something, just like small things to incentivize subs, because I think that we're hitting a point where there's so many of these guys that can kind of neutralize each other that like you see a lot of wins that are decisions, you know? So
yeah, I think even in like a Naga, if there was like $100 bonus in like the expert division for
or like the absolute
or the absolute for the absolute, like something like,
no, they actually do that now.
They do, but if you win it, but if they had something for like, you know, I don't know how you'd break it apart, but something to keep like.
Well, going back though, I don't think at Nagas people are holding back. I think that
that's fair.
That people are going really hard at those because their perception is that this is a big deal and that they need to get the sub.
I mean, I don't compete nearly as much as I want to, but like
you competed a good bit since our first time.
Since our first time.
Oh my god!
No, but like I just did a Naga.
What happened during that match?
I just did a Naga like a month ago, and like I'd like to say that I try to still white belt deathmatch when I compete. Like
nice.
But I also like, I don't know, I'm not a professional jiu-jitsu athlete. I'm a hobbyist. And I'm like, if I lose, it sucks. But like, it's not like, oh, I lost sponsors because I lost that. I don't know if that happens, but like.
You lose enough in a row.
Lose your image, right?
Yeah.
It's like me, like I'll just keep losing. Like it sucks. I don't walk away with that like, oh, at least I competed. You know, it's like the whole go out there, have fun. Like, no, I want to win. And I'm going to fight like I want to win.
Yeah.
But like, I still have a job to go to on Monday morning.
Bro, when I compete, like my main goal is to just not get injured. Yeah. Like that's a dub for me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen some nasty shit, bro. It's fucked.
I've seen so many.
Yeah.
And I still, man, and I have people that send me like
Gnarly injuries.
Severe injuries. And I've been conflicted over the years. I've had times where I feel like it's as important for me to watch, especially when it's like actual jiu-jitsu clips or fights. It's like I need to see what happened. Like there was one at the UFC this weekend in the Pantoja.
Oh yeah, the shoulder
fight.
dislocation.
He posted his arm kind of funny and he messed himself up. So I think in those moments it's important for me to actually watch him to understand what went wrong. Maybe he should
how to avoid
rolled through or whatever. But then there's the other times where I'm like, this is the equivalent of people that watch like those Twitter ISIS videos or something. And it's like, what am I watching? And like, how much of this am I consuming? Like, I see a lot of that stuff because I watch a lot of fights. And like, I've been on both sides where I can watch it completely desensitized and be like, yep, you broke his shoulder. And then I have other times where like, I will just physically cringe so hard when I watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've seen some gnarly ones live too, like the Thursday night promotions. There have been some pretty good knee pops there. Those being able to hear it in person for me is what gets me. I can watch them live. I'm not desensitized. I'm like, ow, a little bit.
Like when you hear the echo of the pop.
Yeah. Well, like when you see it live, you're like, oh, that's not good.
and then you see them
Not
like
good.
poker face, hobble step to the ref to get the other guy's hand raised.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, dude,
that
you're
sucks.
gonna be hurting for a while. Well, Hunter, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah,
we
thanks
really
for having me on.
appreciate you. Do you have anything to shout out? Any businesses? Any?
I mean, not
People.
really. I mentioned
Yeah.
the name enough where I work, Barley Swine.
Yeah.
If you know, it's not as approachable, but I think the best burger in town is at Sour Duck, in my opinion. Best burger in town. They also,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I have one more question before
What's up?
we close it out. Say if I am a jiu-jitsu promoter, I have a fight card. I've put you on against Wico. It's the rematch. What's your walkout song?
Come be the man I need.
This is gonna be so cringe, dude. Downfall of Us All by A Day to Remember.
I'm not there. Well, I'm gonna have to play it as an outro.
You don't know A Day to Remember?
I don't think so, dude.
It sounds like some Grayson Henley kind of music.
No, like yes, but like this is like, cause I'm a little older than Grayson. Like this was my shit when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, A Day to Remember? Is that what you said?
Downfall of Us All.
My shit in high school was like Luther Vandross.
All right, Wico, I don't know if you can cut this part out or what, but I just need to know.
I just need to know.
All right, that's already
Sick.
Yeah,
sick.
yeah,
Sick.
dude,
That's
it's sick.
already that's
It's
already
sick.
Yeah,
dope.
the chant.
sick.
No, great answer. Awesome. Well, thanks again, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks so much for watching. Comment down below what you think of the United States food. I think it's pretty trash. Game Plan the Pod. Follow us here on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you can find podcasts. We just started Game Plan Audible. It's our second YouTube channel. Non-podcast episodes, so it could be anything from fight predictions, vlogs, training, just really anything else that's not the podcast. Juice?
Bro, I want to know what y'all's favorite restaurants in Austin are. So
Sick.
let me know, like, for me personally, because I'll be eating. So,
Awesome. Well,
Good to go.
thanks so much, and we'll be back with another episode soon.
Game plan.